This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, miniatures, and paints, discount prices at miniaturemarket.com. Hey everybody, it's your old pal Rob. Good to see you guys as always. Today we're going to be talking about a few different things. What I'm going to be basically talking about, and it's kind of letting you guys behind the curtain to see some of the stuff that goes on behind the scenes that a lot of people don't understand that do happen. Now, I don't edit anything, so as usual, you know, when I sit down and do these talks, because I always feel that I need to kind of keep it natural and just say what's on my mind at the time. So that's why I'm going to take a sip here, so I make sure I can run my mouth for a bit. But anyways, oh, that's awful. My wife tries to make this diet blueberry tea. I mean, just put water in a cup. I mean, it's the same doggone thing. But today, to get to the heart of the matter, one of the things I want to talk about is why I will not be making any videos or supporting any Kickstarters going forward unless it's a chosen few people. And I'm going to tell you why this has come up, because I've actually done some of the math on this, and I keep track of a lot of things. Now, when you become a certain size or whatever, you know, people come to you and ask you to do Kickstarters. Hey, I have a Kickstarter. Is there any way you can support it in any ways? Now, listen, I'm not a big channel. So a lot of these other channels will ask for a fee. I never ask for a fee, and nor will I ever. I think it's hard enough for people to kind of survive and try to make their dream come true in some ways. Now listen, you know, I'll always do a certain Kickstarters for certain companies, and I'll tell you why towards the end of this. But you know, one of the things that really get me is they say, listen, will you take a look at this? Would you make a video for our Kickstarter? We're trying to get going. We're a small company, so forth and so on. And I've gotten that 1,000 times, and I'm trying not to sound so self-important or you know, however it comes across. But I've always felt guilty, and I always went and did these things and did them without any kind of remorse or anything. I just said, you know something, let me take the time to do it. Now listen, my videos aren't great. Some people that do get paid to do some, you know, ask for a certain fee, they put a lot of time into it, okay? Instead of giving the raw emotion of something, they will make these videos beautiful, overdubbed, and all kinds of stuff. And they do a fantastic job, and they deserve to get paid, okay? If they ask for a fee and they get it, they deserve to get paid. If they provide a really good video that is going to help the Kickstarter. You know, some Kickstarters get funded, some don't. My success rate, anything I've made a video for, I can only think of one thing that did not, and it was from DVG Games. It was Valkyrie, and I was kind of surprised because not only did I make a video, but the Player's Aid made a video, and it was a very interesting game, but it just didn't do well. But, you know, there's another company that I've always supported in anything that they wanted. You know, if they needed a video, I'd make a video for them. I like their games. And the most important thing out of all of this is when I'm offered a Kickstarter, I try to look at it as much as I can and hope I don't get something in that I'm not going to like. Because if I'm not going to like it, I'm not going to make the video for it. And I've done that a few times where I went, you know something, I'll talk about it, but I'm not going to give it my undying support. When I look in the camera and I tell you, hey, you know, I swear, I know you guys are going to like this, okay? That's me saying, you know something, I really like this, okay? You know, I do take pride in my reputation that, and some of the things that I tend to I actually edited out a part, so that's why if you see a little bump there, because I started stuttering. Okay, so forgive me for that. That I'll edit out. But the thing that I was trying to say is that, you know, I would look at these things, I would do a whole bunch of them. Now, in my entire career, I've kept a journal of everything I've done. I have done 113 Kickstarter videos for various projects, okay? Out of all those Kickstarter videos, now keep in mind, 113. I never charged any of them money. A lot of them I just did, you know, for a good reason. But the one thing I always said, I go, okay, listen, because they would ask, how much do you charge? I go, listen, I'm not going to charge you, but if it funds, all I would like is a copy of the game. Plain and simple. Okay? So remember that number, 113 Kickstarters I've done. Out of the 113 Kickstarters I've done, okay, the only people that have adhered to that, okay, was 21. 21 of those games out of the 113 actually sent a copy of the game. So they break their contract and their faith with me. Now, the funny thing about it is, you know, I got to a point where, you know, I just went, you know, something, what am I doing? You know, because let's face it, all our time is valuable. It always is. And to take the time to try to learn a game and then deal with, you know, kind of a patchwork type of, you know, sometimes they would send you something that had so many holes in it and was patchwork. None of the stuff, it was, you know, cardboard and glue put together sometimes with an idea that they had, trying to go and learn this so you can kind of show people what their vision and their dream is. And you put that time into learning it. And this is where I'm kind of sympathetic with people that do charge money. And I kind of go, well, you know, I kind of get it now to a degree. It makes sense to charge, you know, for, you know, hey, you want me to do this, it's going to be $150 for a video, or some people get $1,000 or whatever, depending on the size of the channel and the worth. But for me, all I wanted was a copy of the game if it funded. Okay, when it funded. And I kept track because out of those 113, there are still, let me find, because I'm looking at the numbers here, there are still 17 that haven't fulfilled yet. Okay, so now you can take that out of there, okay? But still, only 21 out of that insurmountable number. That means over 60, almost over 60 videos. I'm not doing the math. I did for no reason at all. Okay, just out of the goodness of my heart. And I've gotten to the point where I've just basically said, and I've seen people get their games and they fun, and either people liked the game or, you know, got forgotten after a little while, and it helped people. But you know something, I am shocked at that number. And after going through that, because I thought about it, because I've gotten a couple videos recently that people have asked, hey, would you take a look at this? Would you be willing to do this? And I've just said no. And I think I'm just going to continue to say no, except for a small little group of people. I will always do something for Flying Pig Games. DVG's out, okay? They have not, I did a couple of videos for some stuff of theirs. They didn't send the stuff. I am out with a few people that I considered really good friends at one point, who I you know, would send me something overnight. Hey, can you do this real quick? Can you get this to me in a day or two? Okay, I can try to do that for you. And you know, stuff that they haven't fulfilled, they never sent. So they're out. And for a handful of people, I will still help, and I will drop everything for a couple of people. The Richard Launiuses, believe it or not, Plague Island Games, who, you know something, I feel horrible. I feel horrible because I kind of rushed the video of the game because I just had a hard time comprehending it. I'm just being honest with you. But the game was cool as anything. And they still sent me a copy. And that shows you how classy they are. And if you get a chance to check out some of their games, like they just came out. They just did a Kickstarter for Sparta, which did very well, and I can only say great things about them. There are certain companies I would help at a drop of the hat because they always went out of their way for me, and they were always very kind to me. So I'll keep that. So it's not like I'm not going to do a Kickstarter. If I'm doing a Kickstarter for somebody, they have to be a really, really good company that I believe in. But as far as going out of my way, and just it's just classless in a way. When all you say is, listen, this thing costs you what to make? I'm not trying to hold you ransom for anything. Just send me a copy when it comes out. Okay. Yeah, I agree to that. Sure, it's a verbal contract or email. It's written in emails. I can show you a ton of emails. Am I gonna bother them and go, hey, what about it? But they'll take care of other people that are bigger that they can use or manipulate. I don't know how many times I've heard, hey, I don't have a budget, but is there any way you can make a video? And then they go and pay some bigger channels. Makes sense. Spend your money on the big guys that are going to get you big views. That don't bother me either. Okay? But all I ever asked was if it funds and it fulfills, do me a favor. Just send me a copy so I can get the final product and show everybody. So if you go retail, if you're lucky enough or it gets hot enough and you want to go back to Kickstarter again and do a second printing, if you print, or something like that, then I can help you. Now, granted, I'm sure a lot of things go wrong and stuff like that, or maybe they just plain forget. But you know something? Don't forget the people that tried to help you. You know what I mean? And that's what this really comes down to, because this is a really, really weird business. So I just want to apologize to a lot of people that maybe have never written or anything and said, hey, not for anything, can you help me out with a Kickstarter? And not take it that I'm some kind of jerk and saying, no, I don't want to do that for you. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to help anybody out. What it comes down to is, something, there are, if you look at a percentage base, I don't know, about 70% of people really aren't good people or good companies. Or they bit off more than they can chew. I can even be forgiving in that way. But I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to do things that are more important to me, to you, okay, the person that watches this, the few people that do, instead taking away and having to delay my stuff, I'm going to concentrate on making my videos, doing my thing, and getting my things painted, getting my things to the table so I can showcase the things that I really like. And I think that for me is really where this is going, is I've got to start thinking more about the people that watch this channel. I got to start thinking more about myself and be a little selfish every once in a while. Doesn't hurt to be that, okay? Doesn't hurt to be selfish every once in a while. And do the right thing. So I just wanted to give you a reason why. And I also wanted to kind of showcase, in a way, my feelings for this. I wasn't trying to clickbait or anything like that. This is just really how I feel at this present moment. And I don't plan on doing anything. I just think there are bigger things that I can do that would help you guys find things that you guys can purchase especially coming so close to the holiday season. So there you go. Why I will not make Kickstarter videos ever again. So I hope you enjoy this. If you have a comment, put it in the bottom, or if you have a question, I'll be more than happy to answer them in any ways. And until next time, it's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.